Anything else? Just keep going. No. I'm going to direct this question to Neville. You have an offering that's distributed through Comcast and third parties into the home or through maybe a retail channel. And so part of your challenge is how do you get this morass of people to communicate the value on your behalf so you don't have to spend the money? And I kind of think about the analogy here is TiVo. We talked about it briefly. TiVo, anybody have one? Or Sling Media. These are new product categories, right? Had to spend a lot of money educating people what it is. So part of the problem of a startup is getting through that clutter and figuring out how do I get people to help me communicate my value proposition to the market. So I'd be curious of any tricks that you can share or any experiences that you think are relevant in communicating the value to people like me who might want to buy your product.
Well, there are a couple of things. The first thing is I agree with these guys. You know, all the companies that I run that have been successful early stage, you need a flagship customer, one or two flagship customers. You know, in Informash, which became Mobile 365, one of the largest messaging companies worldwide, we snagged Verizon and Vodafone early on. So we have flagship customers, the rest that followed. The same with Kasabi. We have a couple of flagship customers. We have Comcast, we have Embark, which is the Sprint fixed line business. So we have a couple of very large customers that were in full deployment mode. But more importantly, to get your proposition over as an early stage company, it's very important to leverage partners. So I guess we were lucky at Palm. We took a product and took it to retail and were tremendously successful. That story is well known. But it's not very often you can actually take a product and create a retail brand and presence. You have to be pretty lucky. So what we've done in Kasabi, we've partnered with our technology to have a better product. And we've tried to pick the market leader in each segment. We're lucky because we have unique technology. So VTech, for example, probably controls nearly 40% of the global cordless phone market. Not only their own brand, they have the AT&T brand, they have Deutsche Telekom, they have British Telecom in Europe. But they are bringing our technology to market with their brand. You never see Kasabi, but we run all of the services and technology behind it. And they are really driving to the consumer with their brand. And in the early stages, it's about making a current category better, not creating a new category. So the retail will be on the shelves in Best Buy in April. And we will have a similar price, the same price phone as everybody else, Panasonic, but around ours we'll have some interesting features. Still a great design, but we'll have AOL, Wall Street Journal, Yahoo branding around us that will make it stand out at retail that will be interesting to pick this up. Same price, but an interesting set of services that come with it. So that's one thing. The second thing is we have a carrier channel. And by selling to the likes of Verizon or Comcast, they sell your product automatically, and we're actually integrating their technology. So as Comcast deploy our technology, their channel sells directly to the customer, and it's their value proposition that gets driven. We're kind of, one of the things we struggle with as a company is, I'm a great believer in having one channel strategy and being great at that channel strategy. And we actually have two channel strategies. We have retail, which is pretty tough to do, but we have a great partner in VTech, and we sell through the carrier strategy as well. And that's tough to do because you have to integrate, do a lot of stuff for the carrier. And we're lucky with Comcast because they've implemented our infrastructure in their secure environment. So Comcast will push our technology and the value proposition out, and VTech will push it out through the retail channel. And it's tricky to partner because, you know, you sit there and think, geez, I could do this so much better myself, but they have their own opinions, and you're a small person in that. So it's about continuing to push to get your proposition out there. Probably one of the big changes for us, we just had CES. We won an award for the most innovative telephony products with VTech. And the real shift change for us, as we had retailers through, the product with our technology for VTech integrated got more traction, more interest from all the major retailers and all their other products. So they kind of now have been, these guys have got something, this is pretty interesting. So from Best Buy to Staples. And the same on the carrier side. We've got a full shipping product that works really well now, demonstrating the product and the power to the carriers of driving value into the home environment. Suddenly the carriers see a working product, not vaporware, and they really get engaged as well, and a lot of deals moving forward very quickly. So once you actually get a product out there, it's much easier to start to drive it, so you've got a great product than when you're still in development mode. One of the things we should have done in retrospect before my time is done a reference design to show the technology working earlier than having to wait for production, because we're in production units with VTech and Motorola and the others. So I mean, I think those are the things for me. Pick your channel, work out how you're going to work through partners. That's critical for early stage companies. And if you can get a couple of what they call them lighthouse customers, reference points, it's critical. We've just raised a bunch of money. And our references are Motorola, VTech, Comcast, Embark. All our premier partners become our references so that we can raise money as well. So it's critical to have that relationship to keep the whole business going on.
Sure. Let's turn it over. Any questions in the audience that you'd like to ask of the group? You guys are quiet. Yes, question.
I have a question about IP protection. It might be to you, Tim, as much as to the other, particularly the two products that are really going after the elephants. And my question really is about IP protection. So, patents are only as good as your backers who come with $20 million ready to back you in a patent litigation. There's a tremendous amount of patent litigation going on out there. There's a tremendous amount of patent infringement, and big elephants are willing to squash you and say, we dare you to come and sue us. So how do you protect yourself when you're in stealth mode now, you've got this great new TV product. As soon as the big boys hear about it, they'll be all over you. They'll say, well, the heck with you. We'll just start selling. If it's such a great idea, we'll just manufacture it and dare you to come after us.
So,
or same thing with the Sarah, same thing, right?
well, yeah, exactly. Well, maybe.
So how do you really, and when you're a startup, especially early stage, how do you get enough protection? Because really, patents are worthless. It's, without the backing to fight the patent litigation.
Let me try to answer that, because I've been in patent litigation several times in several of my companies. I'll tell you, my opinion, one of the critical things you have to do as a company is protect your intellectual property. You have all these other expenses. You have to do your patents and get your protection. I had 3 people come after Mobile 365. But early in the company, we had a guy dedicated and a company on retainer filing our patents endlessly. And we fought off 3 major lawsuits from much bigger companies because we'd done our homework and protected our IP. And let me tell you an even different story, Palm.
I'm not talking about lawsuits, I'm talking about infringers. Intel decides to manufacture your product.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Right, but remember, patents, if you've got patents registered, they're both offensive and defensive. So they're defensive when someone comes after you, but they're also offensive as long as you've got...
His point is you need deep pockets to go after the guys, and we don't have the deep pockets. But I suppose I haven't had to go down that path yet. I think we've got a pretty strong patent portfolio. We take that very, very serious. But the Sarah is a little bit different. Our technology is not easy to copy. So even if I give somebody the patents, it's not easy. I'll give you an example of how that works. When I was at VLSI, we licensed patents from Qualcomm to develop CDMA. It took us 5 years to do it, and we put a lot of people on it, and it wasn't easy. So the patents are only part of it. You've got to know how to do it. And what I'll tell you, from our perspective, from MEMS, some of the big guys have been trying to do MEMS. Epson had been trying to do MEMS for 4 or 5 years, and they shut down the group. They couldn't do it. Intel have been trying to do MEMS. They had a group in Israel, and they quit it because they ended up failing. So there's two. It's absolutely so. It's the know-how. So the patents are part of it. That's how you protect it, and it's a little bit glossy. And at some point you can be offensive. At some point you can be defensive, and because you've got to defend your technology going forward. But it's what you know. And it's not just a question of a piece of software that somebody can transfer that piece of software to someone else. That's hard to stop because somebody can steal it. But our core technology is, I can give somebody the recipe and they can't do it. If I want to go do another fab, a second source fab, we've done it before. I reckon it'll take me 18 months to 2 years to get that fab up in line, and I'll spend a bunch of money. And I've already done it before. I know what to do. So it's not easy.